Good afternoon, everyone. It is so nice to see everybody's faces, even though we are still seeing you in the Hollywood Square Zoom box. My name is Sharon Stroy. I am the Director of Public Engagement here in the School of Public Affairs and Administration. Tonight's event is a town hall meeting because it is time for us to return, repopulate, and return to our family. Return to the SPAA building, return to classes, and hopefully everyone is still safe. Everyone is still being precautious and taking care of themselves. And so at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the head of the school, Dean Charles Benefield.
Thank you, Director Stroy. I appreciate that. I am very happy to see everyone, and I use the word excited because I am excited that we're starting a semester back on campus. I'm looking forward to seeing people that I haven't seen for the last 17 and a half months, and I hope you are eagerly awaiting to see me the same way. I've gone out to lunch with many of you, and I'm looking forward to sharing a meal with you again. So I'm going to talk about three different things. Most of my time will be devoted to the students because a lot of them may not know what to expect when they return. So we're going to cover a lot of things in terms of university protocols, as well as course protocols. And then lastly, some of you submitted some questions to Director Stroy, and I will provide you some answers to those, as well as to some of the other staff. So for those of you who are brand new to the university, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. We are all, on behalf of the staff and the faculty, we are all excited that you're joining us or rejoining us. So it's pretty clear that we've spent the last 17 months dealing with the situation that was totally out of our control. We've been in a virtual space. But some of us are now going to return to campus in a physical way, and some of us are going to remain online. Most of my comments are geared for the people that are returning to campus. So whatever modality that you have selected to return, I need you to know that we are going to be doing our utmost to provide you the best possible services that we can, the same way that we did during the pandemic. I did not receive a single complaint from a student that they received inferior services during the pandemic. Having said that, I would like for you to know, if you don't know, that there are a lot of people that were here when you were not. Janitors, grounds staff, the physical plant people that literally fixed our air conditioner today, police officers, some administrators. So when you return and you see these people, please, just tell them thanks, because you have my word that they were literally here. Because, the grass still needs to be cut, the snow still needs to be removed, the campus still had to be protected by the officers and the CSOs. So please extend a word of thanks to them. I'm sure they will appreciate it. In terms of the university protocols, now all of you have seen the return to work, and those are pretty easy to find. You could just Google guide to returning to Rutgers, and it will give you a 15-page sheet. It's pretty easy to read. I think I covered the whole thing in probably 10 minutes. Most of it is pretty common sense, but I thoroughly encourage you to take a look at that. Just in case you haven't, I'm going to go through the key parts of that. First and foremost, masks have to be worn inside every building and classroom that you enter on campus. There's absolutely no exceptions to those rules. If you don't have a mask for whatever reason, we have an ample supply. You just simply need to let us know and we will provide you one. Social distancing rules will apply for the remainder of the school year until we're told otherwise. That rule is 6 feet. So that's inside a building specifically. Now, when you're outside and you're having a conversation with your friends or whatever, that's on you. But inside the buildings, 6 feet, sitting apart, having a conversation, etc. The university, excuse me, is strongly discouraging large groups. So if you and a bunch of your friends want to have a conversation, inside or out, the university does not encourage you together in large groups, even with the mask on. It's strongly, strongly discouraged. There's no large group patrol that's going to come and say, hey, there shouldn't be more than 2 people in a group. It's up to you to exercise your own common sense, but just be wary. Hand sanitizer is everywhere on campus, probably too much, but it's readily available, and we strongly encourage that you wash your hands and use the hand sanitizer regularly. If in the event there is none around, try to not stick your fingers in your eye in particular, because you're touching surfaces. I mean, I know a lot of this stuff is common sense, but it's too easy to just wipe your face when you're not thinking about it. Don't do it if there's hand sanitizer on your hand in particular. But we want you to be safe, and our goal is for you to come back to a very, very safe campus. Now, you probably have seen the data on vaccination reports. So the university has required faculty, staff, and students to submit their vaccination cards. The data is very high. It's in the high 90s for every group. So there are some exemptions, but it's like 99% participation across the board campuses. So people are getting vaccinated. However, do not assume that anyone is vaccinated. It's 100% illegal to ask someone if they're vaccinated. So don't do it. Just assume that they're not. Keep your mask on and engage in whatever conversations that you want to. But the masks work. I mean, the evidence points out that it works. So it also points out that the vaccinations work. And I'm not promoting vaccinations or not, that's totally up to you. But I want you to err on the side of caution and keep your mask on, regardless of who you're having a conversation with. Students, if for some reason you feel sick, no matter what it is, again, err on the side of caution. Go to the campus health center. They will be happy to take your temperature, check you out, and see what's going on. If you're living on campus and you've been vaccinated, there's no weekly testing. But for those who have those exemptions, you're going to have to be tested every week. That's also mandatory. In case you're wondering, you've seen the news and you've heard conversations about ventilation, that the virus is airborne. The university has gone through great care to clean vents, to change filters, etc. I can personally attest that it has been done in this building several times. So things like that, you shouldn't be overly concerned about. Trust that the if you think about it, the university wants you back on campus way more than you want to be back. So believe me when I tell you, they're doing everything to keep you safe while you're here. All of you should be familiar with the My Campus Pass. So before coming to campus, you're supposed to take 10 seconds and literally click a button saying, I'm entering campus and I'm going to this building. It literally takes me less than 30 seconds to do it. I was told today that there is an app on if you take your iPhone, there's a Rutgers app where you can basically open it up, click it, and you're done again in seconds. I don't have that app, but I was told that it's just as easy as going online and doing it on your computer. So now it may be a little bit more difficult for you students because you're going to be going presumably in multiple buildings. I most of the time only click on the one, but you're supposed to tell them every building that you have a class in, the library, or wherever you're planning on going into that day. Now, there's a legitimate reason for this. It's for your protection and those that you meet, because you don't know sometimes if, in fact, you may actually contract the virus, but the university has contact tracers. That's going to be used. So they want to know who you came in contact with just in case somebody else contracts and they were in your classroom or whatever the case may be. The staff are still working from home. The university has extended the work from home program through the end of December. So you should not expect to find staff in their offices the same way you did a year and a half ago. They will be working 2 or 3 days a week, and those schedules will be made readily available to you. So services won't diminish as a result of that, but you need to know if you come to the building, you may not necessarily find the person that you're looking for. However, they will be available online. You can always email them, and I strongly encourage you to email your advisor or whomever it is that you need to meet at any particular time. If you come to campus to meet someone in person and you're going to their office, you have to wear a mask in the office. There's signs on our doors that say, stop, knock. We're not gonna close our doors, but the doors will not be open. So it'll be cracked enough so that you'll know that we're there. But your job is to knock on the door, wait until the person tells you to come in. They will then put their mask on and you will have your mask on, and then you can have whatever conversation. Now, some offices are not conducive to the 6-foot rule. So they may ask you to go to the conference room or to another location to have the conversation. But just remember, if the door is cracked, that means you're there, knock on the door, and we'll go from there. The university has done what I would consider yeoman's work in preparing for the fall semester, to the extent that's way higher than it was when it was before. So if you're having issues with anything, enrollment, admissions, the health department, the gym, the library, whatever the case may be, the university has a wellness center, they have student life, obviously the health center, a number of places that you can go to have your needs met. So don't feel alarmed that any of these things are going to wane. We've had several meetings at the executive level, and we've been assured that these people are willing and ready to provide you the best service possible. You may also note when you enter the SPAA building that there's a lot of signs that say, exit this way, enter this way. To the best of your ability, please follow the signage. It's there for your safety, it's there for our safety. We're trying to minimize the number of people that are in any particular area. So please be aware of the signage that you're going to see when entering or exiting a space. In the past, we've often had visitors sometimes, I don't know if I've ever experienced it here, but on occasion, someone's babysitter gets sick. The university is essentially forbidden visitors to campus that don't have a reason to be on campus. So security has been notified that, if somebody looks like they don't belong, they can ask for an ID. Hence, you must always have your ID on you at all times. Faculty and staff have been encouraged to wear theirs on a lanyard like this here. Either way, you have to have that ID 100% of the time. If a door is locked and you can't get in, you will not get in if you don't have that ID. If you lose your ID, go over to Blumenthal and get a new one as quickly as you can. There's a question relative to IDs, and I'm going to skip to that real quick. Someone asked the question, I have not received my ID in the mail. What should I do? There was a meeting 2 days ago, and Bill Liafo indicated that he and his staff will be outside on the first day of class, and everyone that doesn't have their ID before that day, they can just walk up to them and tell them their name, and they will hand it to them. It will be ready for you. So you should be in good shape. If there is a reason why a visitor should be coming to campus, there is a visitor pass that looks very similar to the My Campus Pass. So if you're bringing someone, it's your job as the person who is a student, staff, or faculty member to go on to the My Visitor Pass and complete the information for the person. And that way, again, it all goes back to the contact tracing. If something happens, we'll know who was there and we will know where they were. So please do your utmost to follow those protocols. Okay. Again, going back to the IDs, if you've been in the SPAA building before, you know that some of, like the back door, for example, to the parking lot, it's always locked. That one will remain locked. During regular office hours, the door from the outside, from the main entrance will be open, but the security guard will be there. Now, it's going to take some time for him to get to know who you are, but until then, you must have that ID ready, and don't get mad if he asks you for it. Again, it's for your protection, it's for our protection. On occasion, we have had homeless people to wander into the building. There is also a new Rutgers app that's available. This app has the campus map, it has enrollment information, it has calendars about events, library information, anything that you can imagine. I just downloaded it today. And if you go to the, whatever that place is where you go to get apps, I can't think of the name of it right now, but there's one that has an R and it has Newark written vertically on the side in black letters. That's the one that you want. So check out the new Rutgers Newark app. It's literally just been launched. If you're driving the campus, the HLLC building is open. So the number of parking spaces has now increased. So, you know, when I got here, they said a parking pass is really a hunting pass. Well, you should be able to find a parking space a whole lot easier now than you did before, because now there's 300 more parking spaces. I'm not sure if you can actually park in the HLLC building, but I know some of them are designated for students, but I'm not exactly sure how that works. And then the last thing in general is the welcome back barbecue in September. So we're going to get together to welcome you back, and Director Stroy will tell you more about that. Now I want to shift gears to what's going to happen inside the classroom. Students must wear their masks during the class and sit 6 feet apart until we are told otherwise. If someone in your class is not wearing a mask, you can ask them to put on a mask. That, you know, the instructor can ask them to put on a mask. However, no one should try to force someone to put a mask on. The university has instructed us to simply report a student that's non-compliant to the Code of Conduct office and let them manage it. That can include you're taking a picture of them without the mask on and moving from there. But under no circumstances should someone try to force or throw someone out of a room for, you know, not wearing a mask. It's the job of the instructor to essentially try to de-escalate the situation if it gets out of hand. We don't want anyone to cancel a class because one student doesn't want to wear a mask. So hopefully common sense will take over. I know none of our students are going to engage in this kind of behavior, but in the event you're in a situation in a class across campus and this happens, you'll know what to do. No one's asking you to be a mask patrol. We also ask that you be very patient with professors who are speaking with mask on. I mean, you know how it is to wear a mask under normal situations. So trying to deliver a lecture with the mask on can be a bit daunting. So we ask your patience as the professors do their best to instruct you. Now, we don't expect a closure this fall, but things happen. We didn't expect it in March, but it did happen. So in the event that the university does shut down because of an increase in the numbers, trust that they will, you know, handle it accordingly. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but what I know is going to happen is in the event that the university does close and you're in an on-campus class, your instructor will already have a Canvas shell ready to go. And I'm not saying the full-blown class will be there, but they will have a Canvas website and you'll have access to it. So we will continue under whatever circumstance avails itself during that time. So don't be particularly concerned. But again, there's no expectation that we will close, but we'll just see. There are faculty, staff, and students who will have exemptions from the, you know, not getting the vaccine. You're not going to know who those people are unless they disclose. So again, the university has taken steps to address and ameliorate those sorts of situations. So don't take anything into your own hands at any given time. If you know someone has filled out an exemption, you don't know the details of that situation, trust the systems that have been put in place. Your safety is very important to us, 100%. And we need you to have confidence in the system. I'm going to now shift to some more of the questions. One person sent an email that says, I purchased a premium parking pass and I think I properly applied it to my vehicle, but is there a way to confirm? I would suggest that you just email parking services, because if you did make a mistake for whatever reason, they ticket cars based on the license plate. So if your license plate is not the one they have associated with their system, you will definitely be ticketed. So I would recommend that you email parking services, because it's got to be a hassle to get a ticket removed from your bill. I kind of talked about what protocols would take place in the event that COVID cases begin to rise again. I mentioned earlier that the university is utilizing contact tracing. And, you know, if I'm going to be completely honest and transparent, somebody on this campus over the course of this semester is going to get COVID. There's no doubt. Like, it's practically impossible for it not to. But it won't be the first time that has happened. So we've learned a lot in the last 17 months about how to deal with COVID and manage it. So again, they're going to be using contact tracing, and that is, you know, one of the critical pieces. The other piece is you have to fill out that campus pass correctly every single day, because that's how we know where you are. So don't shirk that responsibility. There's another question that says, will on-campus / in-person classes have an online option? I kind of just talked about that. It's not an option. It's only going to be made available in the event that the university shuts down. So, and that's not preventing a faculty member from saying, hey, I have a class online, but I'm also going to put stuff on the Canvas website that you have to go and get. That's perfectly okay. That's not considered an online class. That's just you know, a reservoir, an archive of information. The instruction will be on campus unless you're notified otherwise. But again, faculty members should have a Canvas shell up. And if you haven't already gotten it, you should request it so that it's readily available when your classes meet. Sharon, Michael, or Rosalind, there's a question for you. It says, what events and opportunities should we expect this semester during our return to in-person engagement? And once they're done answering this question, we'll open up the floor for a question. What events and opportunities should we expect this semester?
So Charles, we'll answer that question. We do have remarks from Aaron,
Okay.
and Yahong, and a video from Rachel. So we'll answer that question.
Okay.
Give their remarks. Is there anything else, Charles?
That's everything I wanted to share right now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, I would like to turn it over to the Associate Dean for Student and Academic Services, Aaron Gibbs.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you guys are all well. Just a couple updates. Well, first and foremost, we're so glad that we will be back in some form this fall. So we're looking forward to seeing you within the classroom and on campus. Like Dean Mansfield mentioned, we will be still offering advising virtually, as well as our writing center services will be offered virtually. So please make sure that you take advantage of them. Just because we can't be physically present doesn't mean that the service and the quality of service will dissipate. So definitely we want you to reach out to your advisor, come and see them, or meet up with them as much as possible, as well as with Mr. Paul. I also want to stress to you that as a student, if you have not submitted your COVID vaccination card, please make sure that you do so. All on-campus students, if you're taking an online class or you're doing remote synchronous courses, you still have to submit the vaccine card or submit for an exemption. online students, so those who are in our EMPA program or those who are in our 100% online MPA program, are exempt from the COVID vaccine request. As of this morning, students who have not submitted their vaccination card are basically blocked from all university web pages. So you will have that interruption until that is rectified. Please make sure that you take care of it. If you are going to submit an exemption, please know it's going to be about a 2 to 4 week window to receive a response. So if that is your plans, make sure that you reach out to your instructor, let them know what's going on, because you won't be able to access Canvas, you won't be able to submit any of your work until that gets rectified. So please make sure that you move on that very quickly. You can check your progress if you have submitted an exemption, or if you have submitted your card and you want to see kind of what the process is. You can definitely check that through the student immunization portal. One other point that I wanted to stress to you, Dean Menfield mentioned about IDs. So all new students, if you have not received the ID, you do have to submit your photo, and I will actually put the link for you to submit the photo in the chat. So please make sure that you take a look at that. With the photo, they are asking for you to make sure that you have a clean white background and that you take a selfie from the shoulders up. Smile nice and bright so that they can actually, oh, thank you, Charles, for putting that up. Smile nice and bright, get that put up. Please make sure that you do that before the pop-up that's going to take place next week so that they can have your card readily available. If you haven't, so a couple pieces. If you've already done that process, they're going to mail you your ID. If you have not received it, you can send me an email. We can reach out to ID services and see what's going on. If you do need to get in next week to handle, especially your ID, potentially financial aid, through the first week of classes, the one stop, so everything that's on Blumenthal 3rd floor, they're going to do a pop-up in the Blumenthal parking lot. So definitely try to take advantage if you need to get in and have some conversation to get your any other issues taken care of. I think with that, those are all of my major updates. We can't wait to see you. That is one thing I have to say. We're so glad that you guys are coming back. I know our faculty have planned an amazing semester for you. So just so excited to see you.
Quick question, Dean Gibbs. For the first week of the semester, will there be any in-person advising hours?
Thank you for that. So we're not going to do in-person, namely because a lot of our offices are not conducive for social distancing. So you guys have been meeting with all of our team remotely, and we're going to continue to do so. I know that Dean LaPatriello is going to have some drop-in hours, so definitely you can go onto the Navigate app to schedule your time. And I also believe that Dean Patel and Ms. Steve Benedetto will also have advising hours, so you can reach out to them so that you can get squared away.
Thank you, Dean Gibbs. Appreciate it. At this time, I would like to introduce the undergraduate director, Dr. Michael Dillard.
Thanks, Director Story. It's good to see everyone virtually. Just to kind of echo what Dean Gibbs said, we can't wait to see you all. I know that this is a difficult circumstance that we all are going through, but we're in this certainly together. And I think that's what really represents public service and public administration. So just a quick few updates, in terms of the undergraduate program, and to also just answer, I think there was a question from Charles from a student about in terms of just, campus related events or just extracurricular activities to participate in. So as all of you guys know, particularly the faculty and staff online, that typically in November, we have a day of service where we partner with the community food bank in Hillside. Well, unfortunately, due to social distancing guidelines and so on, that will not be happening for this fall semester. However, we will be partnering up with Jersey Cares and looking for opportunities, particularly throughout the month of November, especially in terms of for ways in which our alumni, current students, faculty and staff can actually, and their families, to be able to participate in virtual engagement activities. Also, I've been partnering up and working with various executives of nonprofit and community-based organizations, as well as local government officials, to have them come in virtually to speak to students, to offer internship opportunities, to talk about specifically how they got to where they are, and just provide some words of encouragement, but also some mentorship opportunities. So for example, I will be teaching a course, grant writing, for the fall semester on Tuesdays. However, some of those Tuesdays will be offered virtually so that, all students for SPAA, particularly the undergraduate program, can take advantage of those particular opportunities. You will find that information out well in advance, so that way you can have enough time to prepare and to participate. And for those of you that may not be able to join us virtually, we will record those sessions and to also provide them online. And then finally, last but not least, just feel free to reach out to both myself and Dean LaPatriello. We're both each other's right hand. And, we work well to kind of, partner up with each other in terms of making sure that the undergraduate program is running smoothly, as smooth as it can be. And, we're all in this together to be able to help each and every last one of you. So feel free to, send me an email. I see a lot of familiar faces in terms of undergraduate students as well as MPA level students. So again, don't be shy. Send me an email. Feel free to contact me. We can do a Zoom session if need be, a phone conferencing session, but just know that we are all in this together to help you, so that way you could thrive during your experience here at the School of Public Affairs and Administration. And so I guess with that being said, I will turn it over to Director Stroy.
Okay, and so at the moment, experiencing some technical difficulties, we have a video from Professor Emas, but while I navigate our technical difficulties, there are some remarks from Professor Yang, the director for the PhD program.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Yang Zhang, the PhD program director. So happy to see everyone here. So because I see some MPA students and BA students here, I would encourage you to apply to our PhD program if you are interested in developing academic career in public administration. I'm available to answer your questions anytime you may have. I wish you a happy, safe, and healthy semester. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yang, Professor Zhang. Thank you so much. Okay, at this moment, here we go. Here we go. I am going to share a brief video from Professor Emas. If I can pull it up, where is it? Okay. And at this time, while I continue to navigate technical difficulties, it is my pleasure to introduce Rosalind Mensah-Boateng, our SPAA Ambassador Program Coordinator.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As Sharon said, I'm Rosalind, the SPAA Ambassador Program Coordinator, and I'd like to share with you all a brief presentation just to introduce the 2021-2022 academic year cohort. Director Stroy, do you want me to share my screen or you'll share?
You can share.
Okay, great. Give me a second. It still says disabled.
So as I navigate, I'm having technical difficulties on my end. So just start talking about the program.
Okay, sure. So this is the second cohort of SPAA ambassadors for this academic year. We launched the SPAA Ambassador Program last year in the summer of 2020. And so that was the inaugural cohort in which I was a part of. I served under the focus group subcommittee, and we focused on surveys and student feedback in order to improve programs and services across all the different programs. So now this year is the second cohort, the 2021 to 2022 SPAA Ambassador cohort. And now instead of the exclusion of the focus group committee, which is now kind of under community building, right? We have community building, we have fundraising, and we have marketing and recruiting. So instead of 4 subcommittees, there are 3 subcommittees with community building and focus group combined. Community building works to bridge communications between SPAA students, alumni, and faculty in the greater Newark community. Fundraising works on raising money for various initiatives at the university, at SPAA actually. And then the marketing and recruiting subcommittee work to recruit and retain the next generation of public service leaders, especially prospective and potential students who we want to welcome into our SPAA family. So for this cohort, we have 9 ambassadors total. For the purposes of this school year, I just serve as a program coordinator, primarily the liaison and the connection between Director Stroy and the other ambassadors. So for each subcommittee, there are also subcommittee chairs. We have a total of 9 ambassadors each, so there are 3 ambassadors for each subcommittee. Overall, we can see that we have representation from across all programs. We have 4 EMPA/online MPA students. We have 3 MPA students. We have 1 BA student who is a rising senior. We have a student who is in the accelerated BA MPA program. And we have, and then I'm also an MPA student as well, and I'll be graduating this coming semester. So those are the 9 ambassadors, and each subcommittee has a committee chair as well. For some of our projects for the upcoming year, we are looking to launch the peer mentoring program, which is to connect current students and alumni to work together to build career goals, professional development, and just get more connections about what it is, what the opportunities are after SPAA. And that'll be spearheaded by the community building subcommittee. Then we have fundraising activities centered around school celebrations, which will be led by the fundraising subcommittee. And then finally, we have the marketing and recruitment subcommittee who will run the virtual open house and monthly info sessions. So that's just a sneak peek of some of what we'll be doing this school year. And we'll keep you all updated with any future events and any future activities. And of course, we welcome you all to join and support us. And we look forward to working with everyone and getting to know you throughout the academic year. Thank you.
So at this time, we would like to open it up for any questions. And Rosalind, can you monitor the chat to see any questions or anybody that raises their hand?
Yes.
We're opening it up for questions at this moment. Thank you, Rosalind.
Just unmute yourself if you have a question.
I have a quick question. So if there's a snow day type of situation, would then, instead of classes being canceled, would they go online or just be normal canceling?
That's a good question. I can't give you a legitimate answer to that question other than we'll do what we normally do. And if that means that the professor says we're gonna have the class online because the forecast is calling for snow, then you comply with whatever the professor has pointed out. Now, if it happens while you're on, like literally an hour before your class and it's a last minute decision, then, I'm not sure, but I'd say do what you have done in the past or wait for information from your professor.
Okay.
Rosalind, did you have a question?
No, I didn't have a question. I just kept my mic on in case anyone does. Yeah, okay. So I can help as well.
I have a question. Hi, everyone. This is Anna. My question is, I know some organizations, for example, PAGA and perhaps undergrad SGA representatives want to have programs on campus. Are we allowed to have those kind of programs in the SPA building? If so, how do we go about booking the rooms?
The university, if you, in the chat room, I put the link for the return to work. They're strongly discouraging meetings of large groups. So unless it's just a handful of people, it's not gonna happen. Like you should not have, let's just say that you want to do a program on, I don't know, applying for external funds, and you invite everyone in SPA, you shouldn't do it. The university is discouraging any large group meetings. Now that rule may get relaxed as the semester moves forward, but you shouldn't plan for it. And we are not allowed to let anyone hold large meetings anywhere. I'll give you an example on it. When the full staff are here, there's about 8 of us. We can't hold a meeting with 8 people in person. So don't plan on any events this fall.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Is there some sort of connected, like a Slack channel or a way to connect with other students in the MPA program specifically, other than just meeting each other in class?
I can take that. So Roche, we don't actually have one, but please feel free to create one, amongst your classmates. It's a great way to connect and a great way to stay connected throughout this time. I do know that the EMPA program, they actually have some form of mechanism because they're obviously going to be taking the same classes over the duration of their programs. But we highly encourage students to create those networking opportunities and those scholarship opportunities so that, you guys can create study groups or just create support networks that'll help you through your classwork.
Yes, and I'd like to add to what Dean Gibbs said. Definitely, there isn't one for the whole entire SPA family of students, but I've had several courses where students have created group chats, and even a class that I took almost a year ago, we're still in that chat, and it turned from like statistics discussions and now we talk about everything related to SPA. So that's a good way to use a group chat. And as you go, you can find 3, 4, as many as you want. You get your peers involved, especially in this virtual setting. It's good to have a community to be able to start that through the group chat. And you can use Canva, or if you have the professor's permission, you can email everyone and then send them a link to create a chat. So that's one way to get started. And I do recommend that.
Thank you.
Rashay, we passed a strategic plan a few years ago, and one of the items in that plan was a peer mentoring program. So you're talking about something that we actually want to do. And COVID kind of slowed down a lot of those processes. So I'm really happy that you mentioned it. Now, one of the ways to get moving on that, and Director Stroy can tell you more about it, is once we hold that barbecue, that's gonna probably be the first time that you're gonna get to meet a bunch of the students in person. Now, this is gonna be outside, going back to Anna's question earlier. If you're holding a program outside, that's different than inside. So if you're interested, I would love to have a conversation with you about how to move that forward, because we would love to have a peer mentoring program where first-year students are, talking to, or second-year students are talking to first-year students about their experience. So that would be fantastic. And I got to take this moment to also reiterate something that I usually talk about is students need to reach out for opportunities to be leaders. Rosalind and her team are doing yeoman's work with the SPA Ambassador Program. And this is a great opportunity for you, all of you, to embrace and to reach out for a leadership opportunity. Because if I were writing a letter for you, my letter is going to say, I love Rashay Williams to death. And this is the reason why. She reached out to me and said, hey, we need a mentoring program. And she organized it. And it's a totally different experience than just saying, oh yeah, they were in my class. I vaguely remember them. They got an A, but I don't really know why. It's a totally different sort of letter of recommendation. So, and people want leaders. We're training you to be leaders. We're not training people to be at the bottom rung. We're training people to be managers and leaders. So this is a great opportunity to show some leadership skills.
So I've finished my technical issues, and so now can actually provide some conversation to this discussion. In order to do an in-person event on campus, we need to go through a process, a huge process to certify an event. On September 23rd, we will have a welcome back barbecue outside for faculty, staff, students to come back to campus. In order to do that, there are a number of things that we needed to put in place to take care of initially. So that will be our first in-person event. And depending on what's going on with the Delta variant, will determine what we do moving forward.
Anyone else?
Probably let me add something on the peer mentorship. In our PhD program, we have SPAA PhD Students Club, and the current students are doing so well to help each other, and they help incoming students. So if I see some new students here. So if you contact any current students, you can get joined, I guess, kind of chat group. I don't know, because I'm not part of that chat group. No faculty in that group, they have no any pressure from faculty or like administrative staff. So they just their own conversation group, but you will be able to join that group with other students. Okay.
While you're thinking, I think I'm going to share with you. Ginger just put together our spring and summer newsletter. And in my message in that newsletter, I talked about where we are as a society and where we are as a university. And I think all of us need to accept one reality. And we would all agree during our lifetimes that we've never seen a pandemic, particularly one like this. And the definition of a pandemic is it's a worldwide event. And the reality is we're never going to go back to what we would consider normal. This is the new normal. So I'm not suggesting that we're going to be wearing masks the rest of our lives, but somebody is going to be wearing a mask the rest of their life. They're going to be more prone to. So we're never going to go back to the way we were 100%. So having said that, while we're here, we have to exercise the most, the highest level of vigilance that we possibly can and work through the situation. The university cannot be online forever. That's not going to happen. We're going to have on-campus classes, and we're just going to have to figure out how to work with it. So this is our first shot across the bow, but we may make modifications, but we're never going to go back to a model where we're completely virtually. It's not going to happen. So I encourage you to, learn the ropes now, because it's not going to be the same. It's just not. We're not going back to zero. We're going to stay somewhere between, fully closed and fully open. So yeah, that's our new reality. Sharon, is the video ready? Can you hear me, Sharon? Okay. If it's not, then we shouldn't be, oh, there we go.
We can't hear it. I don't.
Or welcome you back to SPAA. I hope that you have Hi, I am Dr. Rachel Enos, an assistant teaching professor and deputy director at SPAA. We have been through so much recently, and I'm very happy to welcome you back to SPAA. I hope that you have a wonderful fall 2021 semester, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. We are all here to support your success. Have a great school year.
We have 5 minutes left. Are there any final questions from the staff, faculty? You've been kind of quiet. All right, Sharon, should we wrap it up? Okay, family, it's good to see you. I look forward to seeing you in a few more weeks in person. Hey, Jim, if you want to unmute and say hello to someone, you can. A lot of you are not showing your face, but feel free to say hello to anyone you like.
Hi, everyone.
We'll see you later. Hey, Ellen.
Good to see you, Alan. See everyone soon. I hope so.
See everyone soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take
Bye,
care.
John.
Everyone, take care.
Sharon, have you stopped recording?